Hey guys!
So today we are going to do a different thing, a different video, whatever you call it. We are going to speak a little bit about ourselves right now because we are egocentric.
Selfish.
Basically, we suffer from anxiety. So we're going to speak a little bit about it and how we go through this with school, our families, and our traumas, experience we did, whatever. Let's go and you start. Please be my guest.
I just want to say, I'm already anxious, and
I'm not.
we should probably say that we both have different triggers because our anxieties are very different. And obviously, we live in different environments. I have severe social anxiety, which might also be confused with depression because the symptoms are very close. They can be considered cousins even because the only difference really is how the reactions from each people are. Obviously mine right now is laughing and moving around a lot. That's basically my tell for when I'm having an anxiety attack. This all started with my fear of the road. Basically, I have fears for everything, which we could probably make a 10-minute video. And I have fears like judgments because of the bullying that I got since I was 2 years old. I have a trauma for rejection from past experiences, and obviously irrational fears like spiders, insects, and barking dogs. And there was a point in my life in middle school, probably primary school, that I couldn't leave my house because I would have a panic attack every time I left my house. Everything got really bad when I started to verbalize it or tell my family that I thought that was weird. And I only really realized that they understood when my psychologist told them face to face. But now the problem is that everything I do, they blame my anxiety. In pain, you can say it's just your anxiety. Or when I'm sad, it's just your anxiety. Which triggers me to actually have anxiety. In school, it started obviously as soon as kindergarten, when I was 3. When I'm anxious, I'm always very quiet, like I don't speak at all. So as soon as that started, my personality just crashed. I didn't talk to anyone. I never really did. And that started when in kindergarten I tried to speak and everybody laughed at me. Like I said before, I was very scared, or I am very scared with insects or animals that could hurt me, which means mostly every single animal, because I'm highly allergic to all of them. So people laughed at me because I couldn't touch the toys because we had animal toys, and I always ran away from them because I couldn't touch them. In primary school, I was known as the weird, pale, cultural appropriating fat baby because I was very fat. I had very curly hair, very big, so people thought I was stealing back people's hair. I also had no friends because people didn't like me. In middle school, I was known as the dumb skeleton, younger sister, who was a late bloomer. Which basically means my puberty hit in 9th grade, I was 14, very late according to all of my friends. Also very comparative with my sisters because my sisters are very logical, intelligent, or mathematical. I'm someone who is more creative and more open-minded in the sense of studies. So everybody called me dumb because my sisters took like 4s and 5s in
1 to 5.
I always got 3s because it was like the passing grade. Also, that was the time where all my friends threatened to kill me every day.
We all been there.
When I was 14 was when I started noticing some changes. Like I started bottling everything up and having some other issues and practically having panic attacks every day in school. which caused a lot of people to step away from me or deciding to not be my friends anymore. And that was also the time that I started to premeditated feelings about people, so I hated everyone. In high school was a very weird stage of my life because I went to a course that we did in science that I really didn't enjoy, but it was the only path that I thought I could take, which that was probably the best and worst time of my life. And we talk about that in the video about the channel. It was good because obviously we ended up doing this channel, right?
He's talking about
but
me.
also worse because, you know, my mental health was still very bad. And I got to a point where I thought that I wasn't really being me in that channel because I was like with the mentality of faking it until I made it. That mentality worked until obviously the drama started. My mental health crashed. That was also around the time where my mom noticed that I was not me. So obviously she arranged for me to see a psychologist that I'm still kind of in because she had to retire because of her mom. But I still talk to her most days. At this moment, I'm good enough to survive, but obviously I still have my moments where numbers from YouTube get to my head and I feel like I'm not worth all of it, or I'm not worth this. Basically, I still have panic attacks constantly about that rejection fear thing. So yeah.
Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much for seeing our video. We see you next time.
Wow.
This is going to be fun. So my anxiety is kind of shitty. Because I usually don't talk about it. The problem I have is I don't usually express my feelings very well.
True.
I just keep it inside me. I don't know even when it started. Sometimes life gets you like, and then you explode. I always was bullied because of my height, because I was kind of fat. So when I was little, I was not confident of myself. I'm still not, but I was kind of, you know, in the mud. And I don't talk much about this part, but even in my house it was that good either. So at some point in my life I consider like something, and it never happened. It just stayed vague what it is, so you know, it's not to trigger anyone. So then I kind of grow with it, with being the fat kid, the ugly kid, and with my smile, you know, very bad, very bad. I'm very insecure because of my smile as well. So that's how I grew up, you know, until that's no point of going that. I kind of, it all turns up until here. I had a huge depression or something. I never speak with anyone because we are not open with feelings here. I went to high school. There I kind of discovered myself, kind of. Even if it was bad, I kind of gained confidence. If you see that video, you'll understand. When that stuff happened, I crashed down again. I was already broken, but somehow I was glued, so I kind of was not living, surviving. I used to have panic attacks in classes. My headache was migraines, whatever it was really bad. I started believing I had something. It was kind of the beginning of the big anxiety that I have now. I believe now that I am not that bad in depression. I kind of learned to, the past is in the past. I don't know if it's making sense. So when I left high school, when we left that science course that wasn't for me at all, I started getting happier because I start getting like real connections. And then in the last year of high school, it's when the bad things started, like bad, because the anxiety was real. I passed for a depression, that kind of, you know, where you are like, you want to die, to a health anxiety that you don't want to die. So in August, kind of, I start having like really bad. At night I couldn't breathe, like it, you know, I don't know anything about it. I never went to a doctor. It's just the experience I have. So it's good to also say that she went to a person that is capable of helping her, and I'm not. I'm still dealing with myself alone. So basically I start having these nightmares at night that I couldn't sleep. I'll be like at 3 a.m. awake, because if I sleep I could die in my sleep. I couldn't breathe. My heart was like beating so fast I would have a heart attack. My head was like exploding over migraine stuff. I started going to doctors. They say that I was fine, that I was fine. I don't feel fine. Every fucking night I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to be alone in case I had a heart attack or something and I would die alone. So when my mom went to work at night, it was so bad. I used to cry. My panic attacks are kind of weird. I don't know how yours are. So my chest hurts like hell first. So I think I'm having a heart attack. My arm still kind of numb and I can feel it. I start to shake a lot, and being so cold, you have no idea. I was like, this is my, my comfort zone, because when I was shaking like that, I will cover myself with it and deep breathe. And it was kind of harsh, because until I learn how to deal with this anxiety, I used to cry a lot in the bathroom. You really thought you are going to die when you have this stuff.
I pass out every time I have a panic attack. Always. It's very scary. Usually in the bathroom, like if I'm having a panic attack and I go to the bathroom, I'm gone. Basically, panic attacks is your brain telling your body that you are in danger. The brain tells your heart to pump the blood only for the heart, stomach, and like this part, the torso. Anxiety is all in the brain. Is your brain telling you that there's something wrong with you. Anxiety is stress, panic is fear. Just saying, mine is completely opposite. I don't get cold, I get hot, like I have to undress everything. I do shake, like a little bit, I'm a little bit right now.
The worst thing that happened is the chest burn and pain. With my health anxiety, I start thinking maybe I'm going to die, I'm having a heart attack. It's always at night, so it's when I'm alone that it's my fear of being alone. It's not because I like to socialize, because I hate to socialize. It's because I'm scared of needing help, going to the hospital, and no one is going to notice. I start meditating. So yeah, that's basically how my health anxiety. It's very bad. I'm always like this, seeing if I have a pulse, or if at this point I think I can talk with anyone, because every time I say that I have my chest hurts, my head hurts, that's all anxiety. You don't have nothing. What it's worse, how do you cope with anxiety?
It depends on situations. I'm someone who gets energy from other people. Like right now, obviously I'm anxious because we were talking about it, and it's one of my triggers. But I'm okay. No, because I'm picking up on her energies. And that's why I have to physically trust people to be able to not be anxious around them. I need to know somebody through everything for me to be able to trust them. Yes. For me to be able to not be anxious around them.
So you go to the, psychologist?
Like I said, she already retired, but what she helped me through was my triggers, not my anxiety itself. One of my triggers is obviously dogs, so she helped me with dogs. She also helps me with masked people.
So yeah, how I cope with the anxiety. I don't cope. Kind of most people feel like pain in your chest, from normal anxiety. So normal anxiety, you have chest pain. Health anxiety, okay, I'm having a heart attack. Double anxiety. If you want us to talk a little bit, I think we said a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but if there's any doubts, yeah, comment down below any questions.
So, if you like it, if you want more videos about something that happens with us, with anxiety.
Yeah. If you want any experiences, we have a lot of them.
You will start learning by yourself if you don't have. But it will take a lot. When I mean a lot. A lot.
Bye. Job your hands, wash your hands, wear a mask.
Bye, subscribe.